So we've had, throughout the course of this year, a particular focus on Year 12 students. For all other children and young people from early years right through to Year 11, we've got time. We've got time to focus on their health and well-being. We've got time to catch them up academically if they need it, and we'll have more to say about that at a later time. But for our Year 12 students, this is it. This is their last year of schooling. And we want to make this a year of meaning and a year where their final result fairly reflects their ability and their efforts. A while ago, the Premier and I announced a range of supports for VCE students. So individual assessment of every single VCE student, any student impacted by coronavirus, that would be reflected in their VCE scores and their ATAR ranking. They'll receive their VCE certificate and their ATAR before the end of the year, so there is absolutely no disadvantage for those students compared to students across the rest of the country. Today, we're announcing support for students on a vocational path in Year 12, and there's a lot of them. They've faced some really unique challenges as a result of the pandemic and remote learning, and that's about access to practical hands-on learning at school, at TAFE and at the workplace. And there's also the impact or the connection to nationally recognised qualifications, which I'll get to. So they've had, this is quite unique and quite complex. So firstly, we've got about 10,000 VCAL students in Year 12 where they have been unable to complete units as a result of the pandemic. They will be receiving a credit as part of a special consideration process. So the special consideration for our VCAL students, 10,000 of them, will look at the impact of remote learning and the pandemic on their ability to complete practical units. And this is all about hours for hands-on work, long absences, extra family responsibilities as a result of the pandemic, health of either the student or a family member, and of course mental health issues. So any student, any VCAL student impacted by COVID-19, that will be reflected. They'll receive credits for their units. They will get their VCAL certificate just as VCE students will receive their VCE certificate. So that's the 10,000 VCAL students. We've also got across VCAL and VCE students, so that's our 2 Year 12 certificates. Across VCE and VCAL, we've got about 15,000 Year 12 students undertaking a VET qualification. And a VET qualification is nationally recognised and federally regulated. So this is all about competencies, and you need to complete units of competencies as a pathway to further training and employment. So, for example, a Certificate 2 in plumbing, pre-apprenticeship, you complete that Cert 2, and that shows an employer that that person has the skills and competencies to begin a plumbing apprenticeship. So in many ways, it's about safety in the workplace. You just must complete this work. So for VET students undertaking a VET qualification this year, if they've been unable to complete their VET qualification in 2020, we will guarantee them enrolment at a TAFE or dual sector provider in 2021, and we will waive their 2021 VET fees, which could save families hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So in a nutshell, every single VCAL student will be individually assessed and special consideration provided if they've been impacted by COVID, and they will receive their VCAL certificate. Every single VET qualified student, if they have not been able to complete their VET qualification, will be guaranteed enrolment at a TAFE or TAFE or dual sector provider next year. We're also doing a number of other things to support students on a vocational path. For VET students, we're providing them up until the 18th of December to complete their study. So we're providing them a further month at school. We're also will be providing students with their vet statement of attainment. What have they attained by the end of this year? And that will streamline and be recognised by TAFEs and RTOs next year. And finally, we're providing additional funding around $4.6 million to support students and families, whether that's with fee relief this year, cost of materials, cost of staffing, if they have changed their vet enrolment. So additional funding as well. I'm really, really pleased we've been able to get to this point. So we can say today that every single Year 12 student, whether they are a VCE student or a VCAL student, down an academic path or a vocational path, every single Year 12 student is being supported. Any impact of COVID-19 on their very final year of schooling will be recognised in their scores, in their certificates, and in their pathways beyond Year 12. I'm really pleased that we've been able to get to this point, and I know that it will mean a lot to all students on a vocational path, all their families, and I want to take this opportunity to thank very much all of our VCAL teachers in schools right across the state and teachers supporting students in their vet qualifications.